Okay, it start recording.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello and welcome back to this week's Council of Way podcast. I am your host, Tong, and with me, my co-hosts, New and Hamu. Say hello.
Yo!
Hello.
And today marks the 30th episode for our podcast. And in this week's episode, we will be talking about the release of Monster Hunter Rise 2.0 update, along with a little bit of Resident Evil 8 and the new Pokemon Snap. And
Damn.
we'll be reviewing
Flawless now.
a flawless Snap. And we'll be reviewing The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And recently, some of us has been going back to playing some old games, so let's talk about that as well. So let's discuss on what we've been playing. But without further ado, let's just get right into our podcast. So let's start off with our first topic of order. Ham. Let's talk about what we've been playing so far, and as you've been telling me, how about you tell our listeners as well what you've been playing recently?
I thought we're keeping this to last, but sure. So I've been trying to keep up my work-life balance. So I thought I might spend some time playing video games. So I've just been back playing stuff. So I've been going back to Marvel Avengers because the new DLC is out. And still waiting to play the DLC, but I guess I'll just keep buying costumes first because it's on what is it, discount?
It's on
period.
discount, ka-ching ching.
Discount. Yep. And I bought Final Fantasy 15 like a couple of years ago, 3 years ago, but I never started properly. So I kind of went back and started the game and like learn about the lore a little bit, which is kind of fun, but like the leveling up was a bit much
Yeah.
Yeah.
for me. It was fun, yeah. Like graphics, I feel like have been better, but maybe compared to like games now, might not be that great.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been meaning to go back to Death Stranding as well.
Oh,
So a lot of stuff to do, and I think just simply the fact that I am very much like up to date with all the TV series and movies.
mhm.
So, and there's only so much time you can spend on books per day, maybe like 2 hours max.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd fill it up with something else.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm like a proud dad.
I
Oh my God.
wanna go back to Ghost Recon though.
Oh
But
yeah,
playing
we
alone,
should. We should do
playing
that.
alone ain't that great.
Right? I think those type of games, I think it's better off playing with someone else than playing it yourself because it's a
Yeah.
completely different experience as well.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Ghost Recon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I find it fascinating that you're going back to playing a very story-intensive game like Final Fantasy 15 because like this is gonna take you many hours to complete the game.
28. I looked. Wait, 28 to 40 hours, depending.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot.
But for a Final Fantasy game, it's quite short though.
Oh yeah.
Considering that.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you can definitely rush through the game, but Final Fantasy is not designed to be rushed. Like, you should spend time exploring everything. Yeah. Very good game.
And like, I know you agree with me. Like, and when you're playing Final Fantasy 15 to a certain point, you have to like do everything beforehand, right? Just
Yeah.
beforehand.
Everything.
Everything,
yeah.
literally everything beforehand.
But speaking of Final Fantasy 15, it just kind of like when Ham was talking about it, it really brought me back to that time I was playing it because it was kind of weird that now seeing all the reviews and seeing how the game has developed since then, it's such a shame that the game has such a negative perception throughout the gaming like the gaming industry because it's not deemed to be a good Final Fantasy game per se, but I genuinely really enjoyed it, and I think it's one of my favorite experience playing like this game.
Mhm.
Like genuinely, not because it's a flawless story, but it's just they got a lot of things right, which I love, and I got really invested in the characters.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
are some are written well, but the full boy band,
the
boy band is,
the K-pop.
yeah, the K-pop boy band. I love
J-pop.
the way it's K-pop band. Yeah, I loved each of their stories, and the most amazing thing is that if you ever get into it, Ham, like they actually have a DLC for each of the
Oh yeah,
characters as well.
Did you play it? Did you play the
I
DLC?
played two of them, but not the Oh shit! What was
big
the
guy? Oh, the guy
So
with
I played.
the cook. Did you play the cook?
No, that's the
Oh,
only one I
okay,
didn't
okay, yeah,
play.
okay.
Yeah, because I'd already finished the game by then, and I
Uh-huh.
haven't really
Yeah,
gotten
yeah.
back into it. But the first one was okay. The second one was pretty good, and I heard the third one was the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very interesting to see that you're playing this again, Ham. Because yeah,
I mean, I never started, so that's why.
Yeah. But will you be looking to play the DLC as well?
Okay, here's the thing. I have a very like kind of bittersweet like relationship with this game in a way that I wanted to play this game all the way back when it was
when you were here
when,
still,
when,
yeah.
when no it was when it was something else entirely. When
Oh.
I remember because like Final Fantasy 13 was the first game I ever played like, seriously.
Yeah.
But then that wasn't the 13 that I wanted to play. I
Ah.
wanted to play the Versus version, which they announced it just before the PS3 came out. And it took an entire generation to like just before PS5 was announced for them to actually come up with the game
Yep.
under a different title. So and the story is not completely. It was slightly different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I found out when I realized this game gonna come out, I was quite excited, but I was a bit sad that a few elements that they kind of changed it up.
Mhm.
But I still remember I remember the original trailer from like 2006, 2007 of like the main character like fighting gods outside the palace with like that opera music. That was the moment I was like got hooked to the game.
Yeah.
And then 10 years have passed, maybe like 11, 12 years passed, and then that's when we finally got to play the game. But I think it became something else that I didn't really kind of like appreciate as well as much as what it was supposed to be. So that's why I was like, oh yeah, I want to play this game because I had like this interest, this connection to it before. I mean, I know it's the same thing, but yeah, I want to give it a try.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. At least you're getting to touch touch the game now and experience it, and hopefully you finish it and enjoy the story that you so long patiently waited for.
Yeah, I just want to go through the story, but you do have to level up. So
Yeah. All right, boy, Neil, is there any game that you have been going back to play?
Not really back to play, but I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter World for the past few weeks.
Oh, I mean, you can consider that a going back to experiencing the old games.
Yeah. I have a very weird history with this game, and I mean, we can talk about it later on in when we're talking about Monster Hunter Rise 2.0 update. But I played this game World when it was released, so January 2018 was it?
Yep.
It was around then, and at that time, I was quite curious about the franchise because I've heard you play it quite a lot, and I've heard my siblings, like my brother and my sister, played 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate quite a bit. So, and the how should I say this? The premise of this game really kind of suited the way I like playing games, which is like you grind up for materials and you craft up better armors and weapons, and then you fight like better, like more harder monsters with that.
Yep.
So I love that element so much, and I tried playing it back then, and it didn't click with me because the one essence that I was missing was multiplayer, and I was playing on my PlayStation that time, so I just dropped it altogether. And recently, when Rise came out, you were the one actually were telling me to pick it up, and I was
Yes.
like, yeah, I'll try it because I was kind of a bit in between jobs last month, and I had a bit of time and played the demo and got really hooked. And 150 hours later, this is probably one of my favorite games that I played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and playing this game was so good that I felt that I really wanted to go through. I want to give World another go again because I've heard it was such a great game. Like, and I downloaded it a week or two ago and tried it out, and I've been just taking my time with it since. So it's
Yes.
been fun, really, really, really fun.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, that's what I've been playing a lot. But more recently, been playing a lot more of Rise because of the new update and Pokemon Snap. That's what I've been playing. Yeah. So yeah, before we get all the way into those two games, Tom, what have you been playing?
Huh. Old games? Oh,
Yeah.
actually, I've been playing Resident Evil 2.
Oh, in anticipation
Yes,
of
in
the new.
anticipation of Resident Evil 8, even though the story is supposed to be from Resident Evil 7, a continuation from it. But I just went back to Resident Evil 2 on my PlayStation 4. When I first bought it, I was too scared to play it. But now I'm like, fuck it, why not? I'm playing Resident Evil 8 anyway, so I'm just gonna dive down into it. I'm watching like those speed runs on Resident Evil 2 as well.
Right.
So I'm more comfortable as well in terms of playing it. So I kind of know what to do and stuff like that.
And now you're a big boy. You're not
I'm
scared
a
of
big
them
boy. I'm not scared anymore.
big monsters. Yeah.
Yes, even though Mr. X is going to give it to me, but I'm going to run away. If the first time I see Mr. X, I'm just gonna fucking leg it out of there.
Yeah. How far in are you now with Resident Evil 8? Oh, sorry, 2.
So Mr. X is already here.
He's
So
here.
he literally
He's here.
he's already here. He lift up the helicopter, but in the police department, like on the top floor, and then that's when you have to fucking run for it.
Damn.
Yeah. I just like that mechanic though of even though you're in the safe zone, he still follows you around.
Yeah.
He can't attack you.
He can attack you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a safe space.
Then
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Even though that's why it's not considered a safe space anymore. Even though it was supposed to be like during the beginning of the game.
I see.
Yeah, so that's very cool.
That's an awesome mechanic.
But yeah, I think that's all I've been playing in terms of visiting old games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
All right, let's just move on into our next topic then. I think we can talk about a little bit of. Should we talk about of games first, and then we go into the Falcon and Winter Soldier? What do you guys think? What do you guys feel?
Let's go game first because I don't think it should take too long. Yeah,
Okay.
should be 5 or 10 minutes.
All right, let's do Pokemon. Oh, snap!
Before we go forward, I want to mention that Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon has the 2021 roadmap.
Oh, wait, do they?
They do. It's team experience in a spring and forts and operation, which is confidential.
Ooh.
And there's a Tomb Raider treasure hunt Easter egg thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay, now that I have to go check that out definitely with you.
Is this something you guys would recommend for me to play? Because I don't see something.
Yes. This game was only fun because we had a lot of people, not up to 4 players playing.
Okay.
We were playing with Sunny.
Me, you, and Sunny.
And we were a man short.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But we still
there was a period. Oh wait, I think they have a trial thing where you can play for free.
Oh yeah, 7 days or something, a weekend.
If you're part of your friend's squad, but you can't play alone. You can only play when your friends invite you to play.
Yeah.
It's so good though. It's just so good. Like it's a good.
I mean, if you want to try play, I think it's free for now.
I'll look into it because it does sound very interesting. I've been hearing about it for so long,
Yeah, it's a good game.
but I've never tried it.
I definitely enjoyed more than
Division.
yeah. I mean, to be fair, it's like the mechanic is very heavy in the sense like it's very quality intense.
Mm-hmm.
In comparison to, I prefer it when like the controls are quite dense, kind of like Deus Ex or
Yeah.
Ghost Recon stuff like that. There's a lot you can do,
Yeah.
tactically, and that's what I kind of enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like one game with a template and you can do anything. You have a game that allows you to play stealth, to be tank, like literally when the Splinter Cell this was so smart. Like when the Splinter Cell DLC came out, you can play with as like one of those like stealth agents pretty much straight away because the mechanics of the games allows it. And it offers like so much flexibility in like play style. And I think that's what makes this game amazing. Because you have different class, you have different perks,
Yep.
you have different gears, and I ended up playing the stealth one all the time. So I just stopped ending up playing like guns blazing and stuff and just sneak in and just slit all the throats I can
Yeah.
find.
I mean, I remember
Yeah.
now, like me and you, we always try to like do it stealth, right? Like kind of like to try to like not like raise the alarm and just try to finish them off slowly one by one.
Yeah, and then Sunny will just
Yeah,
go
Sunny
along,
is
trip
going and just
down and trip something up.
trip the alarm.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, I guess we're going gun blazing.
Like fuck it, we've been discovered. Let's fuck them all. Okay. All right then, Neil. I want you
Yeah?
for our next topic to talk about Snap.
Pokemon Snap. Okay, so on Friday, just before it just got released, new Pokemon Snap, as it's now officially called, which I find that really, really weird. But yeah, so this is a N64 game that was made ages ago, and this is like the sequel to it. So the concept of the game is really, really simple. You go around in like this kind of like this vehicle, and you take pictures of Pokemon. And depending on the picture composition of the Pokemon, so like whether they're big or they're small, or they're doing something, or they're centered on the photos, you get scores for each of them. And basically, that's the premise of it. You just go around each kind of like terrain. So you start off in like this kind of like normal like grassy terrain, and then you move on to a forest, and you go to the beach, and you go to the volcano, a sandy plain of some sort, and you just take pictures of Pokemon, and it gets recorded on your photo decks. That's what they call. And I played a bit of that because I'm a big Pokemon fan, and like I enjoy any kind of spin-off that they make, but I felt that for its price, it's definitely a bit
too high.
shallow. Yeah, like it's kind of like it feels like a $30 game for me. But I do want to say that visually the game looks amazing.
Okay, that's good.
And like it's actually quite fun to play. But after an hour or two, you kind of ask yourself then like what else is there, and that's kind of it. And I think that if I was going to recommend or say anything about this game, I would say that if you're someone who finds looking at Pokemon to be fascinating, like you like seeing them in nature, it's a good game. Definitely a good game, because I was playing with my girlfriend, and then she was just kind of like, she likes how they're all just like doing their own stuff, But then that's pretty much it. Like the mechanics there's nothing more than that. So since then I haven't played any, and it's just because I just don't feel like like playing more. Like because now what you have to do is that every time you play in a map on a certain terrain, you kind of like you get experiences to level up, and when you level up, you meet new Pokemon. But it means that you have to play the same map. Just that you have to take
to level up.
Okay. And you just have to take better pictures of the same Pokemon. And it's fun for like the first 1 or 2 times, but after the third time, you're kind of like taking the same pictures, and like they're like marginally better, but not like significantly. You don't see anything significant to justify that 10 minutes in that new course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So good game, like pretty decent, but $60.
Not
I don't
worth
think it's not worth it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my review on it.
All right, that's good. But the main question is, have you taken a picture of a slowpoke?
No, I haven't seen it yet, which makes me so sad.
The mythical Pokemon slowpoke.
No, yeah. I was actually, it would have made me quite excited because I would have loved to kind of like do because in this game you can take you can have 4 different stars for each Pokemon, so you can take a 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, or 4-star,
Mm-hmm.
and that's kind of like a way of completing a record of one Pokemon. But they have to do different things, like they have to be eating, they have to be playing with other Pokemon, they have to be running away, etc., etc. And in my mind, I was like, if I find a Pokemon that I like, for instance, Slowpoke or Coughing, I would kind of love to do that just for my personal, like, kind of like sake. But I haven't discovered him yet. I don't know if he's in the game or not, but it'll be something I play occasionally, but I'm not gonna rush to finish it anytime soon. Yeah. But yeah, so okay, it's okay.
Yeah, it's an okay game, and let's just say that you should grab it when it's on sale, but not pay the full price.
Yes. I think that's what you should do. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Cool. And now, let's move on to our next topic, which is let's go on with the Resident Evil 8 first, and let's just we'll do Monster Hunter Rise afterwards.
Yep.
All right. So Resident Evil 8 is coming out this Friday on the 7th, and I think in Japan it's releasing later, which is on the 8th.
Yeah.
So yeah, one day later. But this is as I think we already talked about it. It's the direct sequel to the Resident Evil 7 game, and our main character is Ethan.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll be playing in the first person, and apparently from the trailers, Chris is evil. But I haven't seen a lot of the new gameplays that they've shown, like the 30-minute demo, the 1 hour stuff like that. I have completely not looked at it because I want to actually this time fully experience the game myself.
That's good. Yeah,
without any surprises and stuff like that. But I did see the 15-minute demo or something like that with the tall lady chasing.
I was going to say the only thing I saw from this game is a tall lady.
That's the only things I know about the game, because there has been so many memes saying it's going around to say Death by Snoop too.
Literally, everyone's like, "Oh, I don't mind being I can evade other monsters and so on, but yes, we can just let the tall lady catch me once or twice and see what happens."
I'm trying to imagine what Capcom's thinking right now. Like, they're releasing this trailer to announce this game, and then like they're probably checking the socials like the next day. Like, okay, so what are the analysis we're getting? What's the good response?
Yeah.
What's that? People are simping for the tall lady.
Oh, for the tall lady. I think her name's Demetris or something like that.
Yeah.
Like the tall lady.
Demetricus or something like that. Yeah.
She's like a vampire. She has like claws that comes out for fingers.
Yeah. So how excited are you? How excited are you for the game?
I'm very excited. Actually, I'm very excited to play this game. Like I'm just ready to fully experience the game. At nighttime, playing it, and then just like getting this shit that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. So if I'm correct, you'll be live streaming this game. Your playthrough.
Yes, I will be streaming it on Friday when the game comes out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that'll be awesome to check.
Yeah, I'll stream it from from beginning to end. So I mean, if you can't watch it, when I'm doing live, you can just always go back to watch it.
Yeah.
It's always there. That's awesome. Do you guys have any more input on Resident Evil 8 or?
I just remembered when we were watching those was it one of the game shows, and then they showed the village.
Oh yeah.
In the trailer, and then they changed from village to VII.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
And then you freaked out, and I was just like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. No, I'm excited as well because not because I'm gonna play, but just seeing the reception of, and also how well Resident Evil games has been
Yeah, in
doing.
the past years, right?
Yeah, especially how recently they remade 1, 2, and 3, which is awesome. And
They haven't remade 1; they remastered
oh,
it.
sorry,
Yeah,
2 and
2 and
3.
3.
Yeah,
They remake 2 and
yeah,
3.
yeah. My bad. But yeah, like it's just so awesome to see that like this franchise has been going on for like decades and it's still going very, very strong. So it would be very interesting to see what goes on after this.
Yeah, but on a relevant note, I'm looking forward as well to the Netflix series on the Resident Evil.
There's a Netflix series
Yes, they're coming, and it's
coming.
based on Leon and Claire. Leon and Claire's in it, so I'm
Oh
definitely watching
shit!
that.
Oh, it just sounds very familiar.
Yeah,
The live action one.
Yeah, no, not
Right.
live action. It's animation. It's animation.
But there's a live action one coming too.
Yes, but that's different settings. So that's set like I think Wesker's kids or something like that. That's been based on.
But
That's so cool.
they already casted Leon and Claire as well.
Yeah, but the animation one is coming out this year. I think it's coming very soon as well. That one I look forward to the most.
Damn, that looks really, really nice.
Yeah. But Ham, do you have anything to input for Resident Evil 8?
I haven't seen much, so I can't really say anything.
But you played Resident Evil 7, didn't you? Hello.
Oh my god, they're gonna have VR support again.
Yes, they will. I think so. That's
Oh
right.
no.
So yeah, you can experience the full game in VR.
Yes,
Hopefully.
I need to feel the rush, the
And
pain, the
the-
terror, the
yes.
fear.
The please, the tall lady, please step on me.
Oh my god. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
You'll be a little hamster, and she'll be like, she'll be pinning you down and like killing you.
Like- Death by Snoo Snoo.
That by snoo snoo. All right, Resident Evil is out. Now we will talk about Monster Hunter Rise update.
We haven't talked about Monster Hunter Rise yet in the podcast. I don't
Yeah,
think.
but I mean the game itself is just great. I mean I'm a fan of Monster Hunter anyway, so like,
Yeah.
I would rate this game. Like I think this is on par with Monster Hunter World, like for me, or like like generations and like the one in 3DS and stuff like that. Like it's also good. Just the new mechanics and stuff.
Yeah, I think that when I was thinking about this quite a lot because I transitioned from Rise to World,
Yeah.
which is a really weird direction to go to, and I realized that a lot of the mechanics that we see in Rise, like they originated from World, and like I love that they took all the good things from World and added the good things that was already there in the Monster Hunter franchise.
Yep.
Yeah, because World is kind of like it's kind of weird that World's seen as a spin-off, where it's actually been one of the most successful games
It is, yeah.
of all time, which is very fascinating. And I love that playing Rise. Like the reason why I got so hooked into it is because my complaints from the 3, 4, and generation is that the game feels a bit outdated.
Yeah.
In some ways, and Rise solves a lot of that issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like pretty good game. Yeah.
Like you don't need to experience the loading and waiting time for when you enter a new area in the map. I think that's what's you have the benefit of playing when you're playing World and Rise.
Yeah, I'm kind of lucky that I never had to go through that, but knowing and seeing like when people play the older versions and seeing like you feel a bit disconnected when you're in different areas, I think, because you're going through loading scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And what I love, like the concept of World that I love when I first started playing back then was that everything just feels so connected. The ecosystem, the monsters having turf wars against each other, and I was like, holy shit, this feels so immersive in many ways. And even though the biggest complaint of World was that you have to hunt down the monsters, which is frustrating at times, so you have to go around and actually find the clues, the footprints, and it just takes a long time. But if you're trying to be like, if you have a lot of time and you just want to sink into a game, like it's absolutely amazing because you're just walking through like the areas and just kind of like looking. Sure. But so yeah, the game came out last month.
Yep.
And since then, both been playing a lot of it, and
a lot of it.
a lot of it, and I think like all of us kind of hit like a wall towards the end because after the quote unquote the boss of the game kind of stopped from there,
Yes.
and so apparently the game was not actually finished yet before the most recent update because of COVID. And which is why like it felt like when we finished up the base game, it felt very, very shallow. Like it was kind of a bit easy, don't you think?
Yeah, like it's easier than World, definitely, and
Yeah.
I feel
So
like there could
just
be more content to it.
yeah. So just to update, so Monster Hunter Rise had a most recent update, 2.0 update, and they added 3 new Elder Dragons, 1 new monsters, and basically kind of revamped the end game that we have, and it makes the game so much more interesting to play. And yeah, it's been like really, really fun. Like I was playing a lot with my brother today, and we just were talking about how it's a lot more challenging now, and how it wasn't just like it's not just one monster that we have to grind against. Like
Yeah.
there's actually like
Yep.
quite a big selection now, which
Yeah.
is pretty fun.
Yeah, they added a lot of new monsters, and the surprise one was the air raid boy Beelzebub.
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
Right, Beelzebub, Apex Rathalos. No, Apex
Yeah, Apex
Rathian.
Rathalos.
Rathian
No,
or
no,
Rathalos?
Apex Rathalos and
Okay,
Apex
yeah.
Diablos.
Apex Diablos. Apex
Yeah.
Misuzune. Misu.
Apex Misusune is already in the game, but you can now fight
yeah.
her in the normal quest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they also added Teostra, Kushala Dara,
Mm-hmm.
and Shamilius.
Yep.
Yeah, so all in all, like amazing update, and I think that it's gonna take me like the whole month to be completely satisfied with all the new content. And
Yes.
the most amazing thing is that 3.0 update is coming at the end of this month.
Yes.
So we're gonna be playing Monster Hunter for like the next 2 months.
See, guys, this is what a live service game should be, right, Ham?
Yeah.
I'm happy in my Iron Man outfit. So
okay. So yeah, you're still happy right now. And yeah, props to them. Marvel Avengers is doing like movie costume now. So yeah, they're going in the right direction.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, just to finish off this thought really quickly, like this update's been very positive, and I'm very excited to see where else this game goes, because now that well, when the game first came out, I think a lot of people were quite disappointed, because if you compare the base game of World to Rise, World definitely had more content.
Yes.
But now it's kind of more of a good comparison, although Rise is not actually finished yet, which is pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, it can keep going on as well.
Yeah.
But
so
let me ask you this, Neil. If Monster Hunter Rise were to release a DLC with more monster, will you buy it?
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Yeah, 100%, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I'll be okay with it being that, like, I'm not gonna expect something ridiculous. Like if they're gonna add just more monsters just to kind of like have something else for us to do, that's okay. Like I'm not expecting I know a G rank, like master rank expansions coming next year. So I'm okay with like waiting until then. But definitely, yeah. But I think that because I think the charm for Monster Hunter games is the monsters themselves. Like it would be cool to see like old faces coming back, and then we get to kind of like challenge them with the new mechanics that we have as well. Yeah. And like of course, like they can also do more stuff. Like they can do tempered monsters, like a similar system like they did in World. Yeah. Make it a bit more difficult. But yeah. So just to let you know, like it's 1 month later, I'm now a big Monster Hunter fan. Like I'm totally into the franchise now. I've abandoned my love for Pokemon completely.
What?
Like goodbye Slowpoke.
Yeah, screw giving love and care to animals. Now you're slaying them.
Heresy.
Heresy. Oh, but
I love democracy. I love the Republic.
I never thought I would say that though. That like I would be so in love with this franchise now, and
Yep.
what I'm excited about is like when I'm done with Rise, I'll get to put all my time into World.
Yeah.
And once I'm done with World, I can still play like Generations, or even like the Monster Hunter Stories, which is the new game
That's
coming
coming
out.
out as well.
Yeah, so like I'm very excited for that.
All right. See?
Yeah.
They have it. Like for us, we're enjoying Monster Hunter Rise. If you haven't played it yet, I definitely recommend you do. Like we recommend you
Yeah.
do because
Yeah.
it's amazing in that franchise.
Yeah, and
franchise.
I think this is a perfect game to start off your
Yes.
experience.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's very beginner friendly. The
Mhm.
monsters aren't too hard, and the game's not too punishing as well because the game allows you a lot more mobility compared to previous games. Yeah, so it makes it a lot easier to play.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. And now,
So, should we
yep.
talk a bit about Marvel's Avengers and the recent skins that we were mentioning?
All right. Yeah,
So,
let's do that. Let's do that. You and Ham would do it, and then I'll be right back. Just carry on.
Okay, so finally
What-
they
what
have
skins?
they're getting MCU skins. So have you seen the leak?
Leak? There's a leak?
Oh,
What?
sorry. I mean, I don't know if it's actually officially out, but so
I
last
the one the picture I got was from the official Instagram account.
Oh, so whose is it? Is it Black Widow?
Black Widow, yeah.
Right. So the leak I was talking about was from
Oh
Captain
my
America.
god! Oh my god! Look at that Captain America costume.
Yeah. So apparently people got that from a Mega Hive, which was not supposed to be released yet. So they deactivated that like reward system. But people who got hold of it took pictures of it and it actually looked so good.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Right.
It's beautiful. Oh my
Yeah,
god!
I know.
The Hulk has a the smart costume too.
Yeah. So they are doing MCU skins now, which is
I
amazing.
I think they got to a point where like, okay, you know what? We have to give it.
Yeah, we had to give what the fans want.
Oh, there's a Ronin one as well.
Yeah, I know.
But they did one for everyone. One wasn't a Mark 85.
They haven't so I think we haven't seen Iron Man or Thor, but we've only seen Hulk and Cap so far.
Yo, I can tell you, once the people see like that Iron Man skin, they're gonna flip out
Yeah.
and they're gonna jump back on the game so fast.
Yeah.
Damn, son. Shit, it's gorgeous. The proportion looks amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such a shame. I genuinely wish that they had done this like in the beginning.
My god, now the game looks perfect.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Oh, the shield though. The shield still the game shield.
Yeah, that's the only thing they didn't change.
Yeah, I'm seeing John Walker here instead.
I mean, John Walker can create his own shield. Why can't the game do it for him as well?
I mean,
I know, right?
to be fair, the game does have a US agent outfit, so
Yeah.
But yeah, props to them. They did that. Isn't that your skin, Neil?
It is, yeah, it is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I generally wish that they could like it's not like the whole costume is a custom that's like set. Like at least I wish you can customize certain sections of your skin. So
the Iron
for
Man would be
instance,
so customizable. Like you can mix and match so many.
yeah. Because I think the biggest criticism that people made was like especially with Black Widow, like sometimes her costume looks really good, but then her hair
Oh yeah, it's just,
looks like really bad. Like
yeah.
I wish you could kind of like be a bit more specific as to what like kind of like aesthetic you want with the costumes as well.
okay, to be fair, I worked with a 3D model before.
Yeah.
the hair is like the hardest part to deal with, especially when you have to deal with so many emotions.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, if you see characters in video games with like short to like shoulder length hair that is normal, it's or tied the hair back essentially because like the motion is quite hard to deal with. And I think that's why Tomb Raiders are always like she always tied her hair back.
I see.
Yeah.
Insider knowledge.
So they have to create a very dynamic like environment to it. And it's gonna take a lot of like graphical processing power.
All right. Let's finish
Okay.
off
Yeah.
Marvel's Avengers section and let's carry on to our final topic, which we will talk about is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 1. Let's put it season 1 here because there's rumors to be season 2, so we don't know yet.
Season 2 or a movie?
Oh,
Both.
Oh,
Both.
I want both.
Why not both?
Why not both?
I mean, it's leading to a movie, and then it could lead back to series again.
Yeah, that's true. All right,
But
so yeah,
but it's giving us glimpse of what could happen in next phase of in the future going forward.
yeah.
There's three different routes I can see. Yep.
All right.
But we can get to it later.
Okay. So, all right, I want to quickly go through you guys. The first impression of Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier. What do you think? Like from the first time you saw the first episode?
Oh, really, really good. I think it's exactly what I expected, like what I wanted from a Falcon and a Winter Soldier. Like the vibe of like the Captain America Winter Soldier film, where it's just like the way I like to say about the series is that you don't really need to be a Marvel fan to appreciate the story. I mean, like of course, like understanding where like the significance of being Captain America and Bucky's like backstory of him like transitioning from a Winter Soldier to Bucky, is very significant. But like all, like it's very fun to watch and it's very interesting. Like I think that the only criticism is that the villains aren't so good.
Yeah.
Like the Flag Smashers, but I read that it's because they had to do they had to rewrite a lot of things because of COVID, which is totally understandable. But I think that from this film doesn't need that much of a strong villain because you do have some interesting characters. Like I think that if they didn't have John Walker in this series, then it would have probably lacked that kind of like thing, that antagonism in the middle.
Are you sure John Walker and not dancing?
No,
Simo.
okay. Here's the really cool thing. I love that they debated all of us with Seymour because the trailer made it seem like it's like Bucky and Sam versus Seymour at the end or something.
Yeah.
But then it turns out that like Seymour was just kind of like he was just there to help Bucky, and I love that like even in those scenes he's like even though he wasn't in all of them like he stole everything like he like as in like he was such a standout, a very interesting character, and I'm very excited to see him in the future.
Turkish delight.
Yeah, but
to be fair, he's not a villain.
Yeah, he's not really.
Yeah, he's not a villain in the MCU per se.
Yeah, but basically, I've really enjoyed it, and I was not expecting something mind blowing to happen. I just wanted to watch some Marvel content.
Yeah,
and like see and like we got to consider this fact that this is the beginning of a new phase, and they're trying to rebuild everything, and the whole story of this series is trying to make a new Captain America. So I think I love the pace and I love what it did, and I love that now it's setting up a lot of new things for all the characters as well.
Yep.
So yeah.
So Ham, what about you? What's your first impression of the series?
It's almost everything that I wish it could be. It got quite political. Like per my preference, I would very much prefer for Bucky to become the next Cap first, but I feel like with the modern day political climate, of like rights and stuff, I love how they played into uh Sam and the race uh thing where they were like, and he was like, at one point Sam was like, I'm a black man wearing stars and stripes, so what don't I understand about this world?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that to me was quite powerful because, before superhero would never really question um what's the motive, what's like the toll of being a hero, with like Eli Bradley and stuff as well. He was a Captain America in the 50s, obviously. And I did really want to interview like why we didn't see a flashback um about that, and the showrunner Malcolm Spellman was explaining the fact that uh it has a more emotional impact if we hear that from as a story. Yeah, I can see how this would be less political now if Bucky took up the shield, but I still feel I've been watching reruns again, and after watching Civil War again, I kind of feel like Bucky would be a better fit. Um, but still, I think it's great, and it did offer a lot of hints. Uh, I love the fact that they made you hate John Walker first, then they kind of not didn't redeem, but they made him a bit more likable in the end.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad they didn't make him like super berserked in the end and just
Oh.
be like, yeah, I was actually expecting to go like all out, like take them down, with whatever it takes, but he ended up working with Bucky,
Hmm.
and I love how Bucky actually got like the respect he deserved in a way, where
Yeah.
he
Kind
was
of
like,
getting a thank
well,
you.
well, well yeah, when he walked into a crime scene, um. the people that was like Sergeant Bonds with a
Hmm.
Oh
nod.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, it's very nice, but I do feel like he had the short end of the stick between the two characters because I feel like there could have been more closure or personal impact of him making amends with his past.
Mm.
Uh, I still feel like if there was a next season, I'm not sure. Maybe Marvel is not gonna do like a season kind of thing, but each series like its own story. I can really see maybe one day maybe Bucky could also take up the same mantle as well. But you never know. We'll see. Uh yeah. But what was interesting was the fact that we do have like a lot of people who became Captain America in the comic books in the series. Like I literally saw a post and it was like Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson, Bucky Barnes,
Yep.
which the one we know of.
Yep.
And then this series just came out and they gave us US agent John Walker, Eli Bradley, Captain America in the 50s. I think in one of the multiverse, Carly, uh, the Flag Smasher took up the role of Captain Anarchy
Oh.
as well. And then there's also the the grandson,
Yeah. Patriot.
the Patriot. Yeah. So straight out in 6 episodes, they gave us like like four new people who kind of took over like the mantle at some point in the comics,
Yeah.
which is like, hey, that's not bad.
Hmm.
And now I kind of see like what to expect with this. This could be a bit more of like fighting for like the legacy of the shield. Then now I feel like maybe what we could expect from Armor Wars is like who's gonna pick up the legacy for Tony Stark kind of thing, which is a lot
Right.
better than
So
Spider-Man trying to like deem himself worthy.
yeah. Wait, so Ham, would you say this can lead to armor war in terms of, let's talk a little bit on Sharon Carter in terms of she's now gonna sell those armors, like those prototype and stuff like that to, the black market.
I feel like she's gonna play a hand in starting the Armor Wars.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how it's gonna play off, but as far as we know, there's like 85 suits
Yeah.
lying around, lying around.
Yeah.
Um, because Tony's not around. I mean, to be fair, you don't count Mark 85 because he snapped and probably
Yeah, he
burnt.
literally is burned.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Mark 50 is probably lost in space, private lost in space somewhere. Let's say there's like 80 different suits
Mhm.
like lying around, which somehow if Sharon could get her hands on, it could be a lot of like could be worth like over trillions of like
Yeah,
dollars.
trillion.
And with Ironheart coming out first, we're gonna see like maybe Rhodey being a mentor to Riri, and then see like, oh, maybe she's gonna take up the mantle.
Mhm.
Could be interesting. That's one path I can see like the MCU going forward. And I think I didn't expect um each series to be as connected or as cohesive, like how James Rhodes was there at the beginning.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. One gripe is that for me that I had was that I was wondering if he's still wearing his leg
Oh, the
leg
yeah.
thing. Yeah, because I couldn't make it out.
Mm.
Or he could just be wearing underneath his like uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah, but by the time it comes around for Armor Wars, I wish I kind of see.
Mhm.
Yeah, but Ironheart has its new showrunners now, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I think the people who did Snowpiercer,
Oh.
I heard a lot of like good things about Snowpiercer on
Mhm.
Netflix, so I think I would expect great things from Ironheart as well.
Nice.
6 episodes.
Yeah.
Also, now I can see Dark Avengers and Young Avengers.
Definitely Young
Thunderbolts.
Avengers. Definitely Young Avengers.
I feel yeah, definitely Young Avengers. But Thunderbolts, well, or it's either Thunderbolts or Dark Avengers
Yeah.
because I feel like because of the cameo character, um, she could be building up like a Dark Avengers team, like how Nick Fury
Yeah.
did, and how she's gonna recruit different people from different films or characters. For example, U.S. agent from here. I have no idea. Maybe she could find a way back to get White Vision. Um,
Quite brilliant.
Mm.
uh, someone is bound to come out from Armor Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be like Dark take on Iron Man. Maybe like I heard Marvel has big plans for Norman Osborn, and
Yeah.
he was once Iron
Mm,
Patriot in the Dark Avengers
mm,
team. So that
Oh.
well, you never know. Like after the whole thing, like he might get his hand on like an armor or something.
Mhm.
Um, I heard that they kind of like they found an actor and they gave the actor an offer, but the actor hasn't responded yet. So we'll see. From Black Widow, I heard that this character was supposed to recruit a character from Black Widow first,
Yep.
before John Walker.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, someone from Hawkeye, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely very interesting to see like the different characters getting recruited into Young Avengers, Dark Avengers team. But then we'll see. Oh, maybe like the whole deal of like Marvel and Sony. Who knows? Like they might bring in Venom to the team.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah. So it's a very interesting place to see. Yeah.
All right. Nice. Oh, before I forget, in terms of the soldier serum topic, like you remember in Captain America, the first Avengers, like I think when Captain America was speaking to the Doctor himself, he was like, the serum doesn't enhance like just like super like your strength as well. It enhances the good in you to become better, and the bad in you to become like worse or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That's like a
Yeah.
good quote. So it happens kind of like when it happens in terms of like John Walker, in terms of his kind of like already bad side into to worse, and then the good in some people becomes better. So like Captain America, Steve Rogers was the exception, but then we still haven't. Like, Bucky is a redemption, I guess you can say, still like in process. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like that's what I thought was fascinating in terms of super soldier serum. Enhancing those stuff as well, just not the strength side, and just the good and the bad in you as well.
Yeah, I think it's the concept in a lot of films and anything where someone gets given too much power,
Yeah.
and it either like you have so much power that like you can either become really really good, like Steve Rogers did, or it can corrupt you completely, and then you can go completely to the dark side. But yeah, I love that conversation as well because it's really interesting. Like what I love about this series and overall is that, and I hope that we get this with Tony Stark later on, is that we hear the legacy of how great Steve Rogers is, and how since Endgame, like there'll always be people who tries to live up to his mantle. So I it's very fascinating to see that like Marvel is continuously trying to develop characters, like not to become that standard, but to uphold like those legacies and to become someone like maybe even greater. I don't know, but just I'm very excited to see them like kind of like having those conversations, saying that hey, you know what, there's a Steve Rogers who's good, but in the future there can be someone who's good as well. But we'll see.
There's a Steve Rogers project with Chris Evans coming up.
I think it's just a rumor, right, at the moment.
It's just a rumor, but to confirm, that it was rumored to have two Captain America projects, which is one Sam Wilson and a Steve Rogers project, and everyone's kind of speculating that when it came out, they were like, "Oh, Steve Rogers is gonna come on Captain America 4," and then people were like, "Oh no, the rumor was like, it's gonna be a separate project from Falcon and Winter Soldier." So we'll see. The more it's better, right? So
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's just very interesting because I was thinking about this. Would there be any more stories to be told for Steve Rogers? Because I felt that like he had such a perfect kind of like start to end.
We can
Where
see
he
him
done-
going back, like returning the stone.
Yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
So-
That's
Stone,
the
yeah.
story to tell.
Yeah. Oh! You mean like when he's going back to put the stones in the
Yeah.
places,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Then that makes more sense. So I'm wondering. So we've finally had 2 Disney Plus shows. How have you guys found it so far? Because this is kind of like a new era where we haven't really had a MCU TV series yet. So how have you guys found it?
We kind of had MCU series until they came out and just said, "Oh, these are not canon anymore."
Yeah.
Yeah, it was until last year they kind of came out and just be like, "Oh, these are not canon anymore," because Marvel Studios now has a TV division of their own
Yeah.
with Disney Plus. I think it was 2019 actually. But when I was
Yeah,
watching when I was watching Agents of Shield, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, like when I was watching them, those are canon because all of those series basically like they were affected by the MCU events.
Yeah.
Like for example, like the reason Hell's Kitchen was so bad in Daredevil was because of like the invasion in 2012.
Mm.
That was what kind of kicked off Daredevil. So yeah, to be fair, like when I watched those shows, it was kind of canon. But then now it's like it's a whole different kind of like period. I do enjoy it more than the movies because you do get more character development.
Yeah.
Yeah, because instead of getting this is basically a Captain America movie, for like what 3 hours ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
kind of, yeah.
3 to 4 hours movie. That's essentially what we got, and I kind of prefer this because if it's a movie, we would not have seen like as much character development for either of them. Like for example, you will never see like that much character development of Wanda or Vision.
Yeah.
Nor for Sam and Bucky. And I think it's a great platform for like B-listed characters for the screen time.
Well, now they're gonna become A-list
Yeah,
for the next
And
few years.
I don't think if it's a movie, I don't think they would develop John Walker as much as well.
Oh yeah, that definitely that would be
Yeah.
like very short term, like like cut.
Yeah. And then like people would not have sympathized with him as
No.
much as we kind of like do now.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I want to go to each character like quickly as well in terms of their arc in the story. So let's start off with just Sam Wilson pretty much. So he's like what first of all doesn't accept who he doesn't want to be
Yeah.
Captain America. He thinks that it's just not right for him, right? And the pressure and
Yeah.
so on is just too much for him. He thought that he couldn't live like the name of Captain America.
Yeah.
But in the end, we saw that like after he's talking to the other Captain America,
Quotations.
and it got him thinking like like who cares anymore? Like I want to do something different. There will be people who judge me anyway, and so on like that. But he bled for this country. He does stuff for the country. So he's gonna just do like take up the mantle and just take responsibility on his own.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? So Wham, let's start with you. What do you think of Sam's arc?
it took a lot longer than I expected. For example, I felt like he would have came to a conclusion a bit early on. I would never have thought that he would give the shield away. But being a soldier, I kind of understand that kind of perspective. And he felt like maybe I think it could also be the race thing playing in quite a lot. That deep down he knows, like the conversation between like Eli Bradley and Sam was quite real. Like yeah, like they don't have blonde hair, blue eyes. Like no one would want them to be like Captain America. That's it's not what they see. When they see these people, right? And that is a very interesting thing, because in like in today's like political climate, like I mentioned before, like the world has become a lot more liberal, yes, but when things are taking off, they wouldn't let black person be Captain America,
Yeah.
like despite how good they are, and I just think it's something it's an idea that kind of been sticking around. And it does reflect the comic book arc itself as well. That when Sam did take over, there was a lot of backlash. And I was like, this is a very interesting take. Why people are like are being upset with this? I do understand why. The same thing happened with Miles, when Peter Parker died, and then he took his mask off. Like, oh, Peter Parker died. Who's the new Spider-Man? And it's like there's like half black, half Hispanic kid. Something we could see as well, with Miles. But and then he has to go through like the whole process that if he really believes in it, and if he wants to fight for the cause, then he needs to accept like the curse that comes with the shield. That he's not the ideal person to represent the country's value, but he does represents like the value that Steve holds for like helping people and doing the right thing. So that's kind of my take on it. And in the end, he finds the strength in himself to call on what needs to be done and take on the blame and not the hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and okay. New. What about you? What do you think of Sam's arc?
No. Well, I completely agree with him. So my opinion is really not too long. I just love the fact that, like, I love that he wasn't just Captain America from episode 1. Obviously, it's because the episode is called Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and eventually he would become that. But I love the contrast to how, like, he didn't like at the beginning, he was given the shield by by Steve. Shit, I was gonna say Sam. Wait. Okay, no, Sam was given the shield. I was like, wait, what? Okay. So I love the fact that like at the beginning, like at the end of Endgame, he was given the shield, and you can see that he he accepted the shield just out of common courtesy, but he didn't really want to become one. And instead that like John Walker did, because they gave the shield to him. It was like, hey, can you become our Captain America because of all your accomplishments? And I love that eventually at the end, we got to the point where Sam actually wanted, like he felt that he needed to become one. And it's like you said as well, I like that because it's kind of like a TV series format. It allowed that time for you to see him progress from episode 1 to episode 5, when he was like, hey, okay, actually, I need to take up the mantle. I need to do things like, I need to make things right. Not because he feels pressured or he feels like, hey, but what if no one likes me? He felt that he had to make the difference. And that's what Steve would have done as well. So I think it was kind of good, and I'm so glad that they finally gave Sam Wilson like a big role, since he's been a side character for like so many films now. So yeah, it's very nice to see.
All right. So now we move on to the second character, right, of the show,
Yeah.
which is Bucky Barnes. And for him, I think we see how he's trying to redeem himself, trying to make amends to all the wrong he did when he was the Winter Soldier, and all the nightmare he's just trying to confront himself. But also not understanding why Sam at first gave up the shield, because Steve trusts him with the shield.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's him. Like, also that's why he didn't quite understand Sam, and just say, yeah, he's angry at him pretty much for that. But until the end, all this revelation starting to come out, and the story of Isaiah, and that last speech at the end given by Sam when the reporters as well. I think that pretty much made him, accept Sam for who he was, and just, yeah, nice job, Cap, right? He called him Cap in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was very cool. And then in the end, Bucky went down the list, crossed off everything, told everyone the truth. Like, we can see that he went to the old Japanese guy, tell
Oh,
him,
Yuri.
about his
Yeah.
his son, like how he died, and the truth about the incident. And yeah, I think he just had a little bit of closure for his character. I think it was good. And oh yes, and we get to see that scene when he was being reprogrammed from the Winter Soldier, like the codes.
White Wolf.
The White Wolf has rested long enough.
The White
You,
Wolf.
you
Yeah,
better make yourself guess.
yeah, because we know that he was being reprogrammed, but we didn't know how until we actually saw the series, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So this time, let's go with Neil first. So Neil, what do you think of Bucky's overall arc?
So overall, I think selfishly, I was kind of disappointed that he didn't have a bigger role, but it does make sense because it was kind of more of him internally dealing with him trying to move on from the past and trying to become Bucky instead of the Winter Soldier,
Mm-hmm.
which is totally understandable. And because like everything that that Bucky was in, it was actually very, very good, and like I love all his fight scenes and such, but he needed like this arc badly because it's like for him to have a fresh new slate, to like have like a new start. And like the whole concept of him is that he's always, you were saying that he didn't like the fact that Sam did not accept the shield because Steve had given to him, and then he was saying about how like how if you like, if to paraphrase, saying that if Steve was wrong about this, then he was wrong about me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the whole story arc of the last episode about how he'd always held on to who he was in the past, which was he was like Steve's best friend, and he would not accept anything else because he thought that was it. He was just okay. But he's now moving forward and seeing him actually having a really good friendship with Sam and moving on, like, and making and crossing out the name on the book. I think that is perfect for him for the series because it's now going to set him up to do anything he wants in future projects now. So it's very good, and I'm very, very excited to see where he'll go next because honestly, I have no idea what he'll do. Like as Ham mentioned, like if he ever took the mantle in the future, that would be kind of cool. But yeah, overall, it's very, very cool to see.
All right, Ham. Now you. What do you think of Bucky?
He deserves better.
Oh.
Yeah, I kind of feel like he's always just there just to like pick up the slack where Sam couldn't is not up to the job. For example, like like when John Walker became like super powered, obviously Sam stood no match, and Bucky being an enhanced individual could
Yeah.
pick it up. And I always see that Bucky is the one handling the shield much better than Sam. So I was like, come on, it's very clear at this point. I think I'm biased, like in the fact that because when I started reading comics, like Bucky, the person who was Captain America wasn't Steve Rogers. When I was exploring comics back in like the mid to late 2000s, I started reading in like 2005, and then when I
Civil
got
War, right? It was Civil War time. During
yes,
Civil War era.
around Civil War era, Extreme is when I kind of start, and then when I kind of picked up Civil War, Steve Rogers pretty much died straight away.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah.
Like the moment, like the first time I read anything with Captain America in it, like he died straight away.
I forgot that he died. My God.
And then going forward with like the Skrull invasion, which led to Tony being fired as director of Shield, and then he became a fugitive hunted by Norman Osborn, and then we saw he became brain dead, and he needed when he needed the team to come back and help him restore his brain, and the person who was there was Captain America, but it was Bucky.
Yeah, Bucky was Captain.
Yeah. So when I started reading comics, for the most part, it was always Bucky who was Captain America for me. So that's why I was like, I wish Bucky would take up the mantle. To be fair, like Captain America did come back by that arc. There was two guys in Captain America outfits, so it wasn't until like the reboot until Steve Rogers became Captain America again. Like the all new, all different Marvel. The like the black suit Iron Man kind of era. And I do like Bucky's like outfit. It was very like it's a very covert version of like Captain America outfit.
Mm-hmm.
It was all black, and it was only like the top 1/3, which was like blue in Captain America. Like, yeah, so I wanted to see that version, but I guess you won't be seeing it.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Yeah.
you never know. You never know. Like
You never know. I mean, 3 years ago, we would have never expected WandaVision or
yeah.
Falcon and the Winter
Mhm.
Soldier. And what's funny is that I was watching this press interview. Like someone posted a press interview
Uh-huh.
of Civil War, and then at the press interview, like everyone was sitting on the stand, someone was just like straight out asking Kevin Feige, "So when are we getting that Sam and Bucky road trip buddy movie?" And then Kevin Feige's face was just like, "Oh, that's not a bad idea." And all the memes, everyone was like, the moment Kevin Feige had the idea for Falcon and Winter Soldier,
Low.
like you can see it. He had like that spark in his eyes. It's like, oh yeah. Kevin Feige was like just mid 90 degrees turn his head. And he was like, his eyes so wide, and he was like, that sounds like a good idea. And everyone's just like, yeah. And I think everyone was like, this is what makes him great because he listens to a fan as
Yeah.
opposed to like DC,
Mhm.
not really listening at all.
Ooh.
Restore the
Oh.
Schneiderverse. All right, okay. We move on from Bucky to, let's just say, Ham. We gotta do it with me, Ham.
I'm doing as well, but you can't see it.
and then the
They're
clap,
clapping.
and then the clap. Everyone will be like, "What's happening?" So we're doing the Zemo cut dance.
So, to put into context, was it episode 3?
Episode 3, episode 3, yes.
Yep. So episode 3, they went to a nightclub.
Yep.
So to find information on the guy who was selling the who had the super soldier serum, and they had to blend in with the party, and you get this 2-3 second clip
Yep.
of Zemo dancing, and everyone went mental afterwards because it was just really funny when you put it to the context, and people were asking him, the actor, what's his name, Daniel
Bro.
yeah
Bro.
yeah, they were asking him, and he said that they actually filmed like a few minutes worth of content on that, and people were demanding for him to Marvel to release, and my god, and 1 hour
Marvel delivered.
Yes.
Marvel freaking delivered.
Oh my god,
That's so
I can't believe he just became beloved like in
Yeah.
an instant.
Okay, let's talk about the Baron Zemo arc then. So Baron Zemo is in the series as well, and yeah, because the story main around, like, there are other super soldier serum like out there in the world, and who else knows more about super soldier serum than, you guessed it, Baron Zemo. So
Yeah.
Falcon and Sam and Bucky, it was like, all right, we have to go to Zemo. We have to go to him. Ask him. So they
Actually,
for help.
Sam did.
Sam did it.
Sam did it. Yeah, I mean, sorry, Bucky did, and Sam's like, are you sure? I was like, there's no other choice. There's no other way.
But how it played out was pretty damn funny though.
Yeah.
It was just like just hypothetically, like
if he were to like break out,
and then Sam's like, Bucky, what did you do? And then you just know that you just know that he did it.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah,
and it was just amazing.
I think he steals the show pretty much. Zemo steals the whole series, like when he was on.
To say more about like the dynamic of this show, like I love how, even though they don't portray it as a comedy, it's got a lot of good comedic like timing.
Yeah.
Between the cast, and it's pretty fun to watch.
Yeah. And like when they found when he's like broke out of the jail, then he helped them track down the other serum, like where it was produced, and found about the group of Flag Smasher, and then of course you have the Turkish delight.
Flag Smasher?
But
Flag
Smasher. But then, of course, when you release out Baron Zemo, you potentially, just disrupted a nation that wanted him as well. A group of nation that, because he potentially killed a king, so this group of nation came after him.
Not potentially, he did kill the king.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He did kill the king, blaming on the Winter Soldier, but then
everything
failed.
Yeah.
And of course, the Dora Milaje came to get him.
Oh, I just love it when they were just beating a shit out of John Walker, and everyone was just like drinking tea and watching.
Oh yeah, hi, Captain America.
Looking good, John.
and then a post came out with like picture of John Walker like touching one of the gods, like one of the Milaje, and then everyone was like, the moment that every Marvel fan knew, he fucked up.
Yep, that's true.
Oh man.
But yeah, I think in the end he still had his, like, even though he's helping them, but he still have his interior motive, like Zemo, because he wants to get he still wants to kill them all, like the super soldiers, like the super soldiers.
I'm glad that they're not going down the obvious route of like him like having the ulterior motives and escaping and then becoming like the antagonist towards the
Oh
end.
yeah.
Like I'm glad that he, like, for him himself, he's kind of done with causing as much distress as he did in Civil Wars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he wanted to like kill the soldiers, obviously, like the super soldiers, but that's pretty much it. Like he's just like, I love how, like, at the last scene when we saw him in the prison cell, he was
Oh,
so
yeah.
content with just lying there. He was like, "Oh, okay, job done."
Yep.
You know?
Yeah, like he's like he had the last laugh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like, boom, all the super soldiers are dead. Well, not all of them. But,
Yeah.
So what do you think? So let's go with Ham now this time. What do you think of Zemo?
I like the fact that they redeemed him quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Especially the fact that he's a Baron.
Oh yeah.
And Sam was like, so all this time in jail,
Yeah.
you've been rich. I'm like, yes, Sam, I'm royalty.
Yeah,
Until you and your friends blew up my country, and I was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, again, like today I was watching Civil War, and to watch it again, a lot of things made more sense to me. In the fact that he was just like he was on the phone with his dad and his family, and he lost everything. He lost the entire country. He lost his family, and then what did they do? They go home,
Yeah.
and that is pretty much it. And you never really think like the impact that it had on people. It affected people. That like people were suffering, but you never
Yep.
see it from the point of
Yeah.
view. And even if you do, it's like like probably like people who like ordinary people. You get to at least you get to see what's like for like some a royal, not royalty, but like someone who's quite high up there in
Mm-hmm.
society. Yeah. So it's interesting approach, and we did see him with the mask on.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Even
I
though
love that scene.
even though it's like for an episode,
Yeah.
but still, yeah.
Turkish delight. Don't trust Ham. Don't trust that man. He's a dangerous man. Yeah, that guy's a bad man. Don't trust him. But do want Turkish delight.
Say what you will, but the man knows how to extract information.
Yeah, he did. That's what I'm saying.
Like he gets shit. He gets shit done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Is that all from you, Ham, from Zemo?
Yeah.
Okay, Neil. Let's go to you quickly. What do you think of Zemo?
I really like what they did to Zemo, and I think this is kind of what I've been really enjoying in terms of the Disney Plus shows, because they give spotlight to all these characters, and like they don't have to make them a main character of the movie or the TV shows, but they give them depth, so that in the future when you see them again, like you've already had this rich amount of like flavor that you've seen through them. Like you see how complex Zemo is. You see that, like, even though he's been painted as like this big villain, he's actually just like, it's like Ham said, like he's actually doing what he thinks is right, and he's kind of like been trying to, redeem, take revenge,
Yeah.
And so I just really like it because like before I didn't care about Zemo, but now I do. Like I really, really do, and I'm very excited to see him in future series if he's ever gonna get into any.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that. So like the scene when he had his mask on was probably like the most badass scene I've seen him. Like
Yeah.
at before, like you don't think he can do anything because he's just kind of like he's kind of like a puppeteer, like kind of like orchestrating all this like Winter Soldier things, and then you see him putting on a mask, and like obviously it's a stunt double and all, but it's pretty badass, and yeah, like like I said, I really like that they're not doing the cliche route of him being a bad guy, and that he has his own motives. So yeah, pretty good.
People forget he's ex-military, by the way, in the MCU. That's how he's very skilled. Like as a fighter, I think he's very skilled.
Yeah, I think the problem is that in Civil War he's fighting he's like he's up against all these superheroes. Of course, he's gonna get
he's like
disaster.
he's just fucking running away the whole time.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah,
You
Ham,
know.
what were you gonna say?
I wouldn't say like I think this is where to be fair, I love both Marvel and DC. I love the Schneider cut and all. But this is where Marvel kind of excelled compared to DC, because they were able to make they understand their characters.
Yeah.
They find directors or showrunners that understand the characters, and these characters, even though they don't become like completely comic book accurate straight away, they do become what they're meant to become down the line. We just need to be patient.
Yeah.
And I think this is one the case where, Zemo came out and he wasn't, the Zemo that we know from the comics
Yeah.
straight away, but then we see like the mask. Sam Wilson becomes Captain America. Wanda, instead of like just, being enhanced by like the Mind Stone. And that's why she got her power from. They were like, no, no, no. She has always been special. Like she had that power. It's just been like enhanced and brought out a bit more by the stones. And we got an amazing costume towards the end of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is why Marvel is so great. Because from a villain who's not that one dimensional, be like, oh, super evil mastermind, masters of evil, Baron Zemo. They made it like a justifiable guy who lost a lot and he has a hatred for like superpower being. He's justified doing that, and he doesn't mind being in prison and stuff like that. He's willing to do whatever it takes. Like he became like the likable. John Walker became likable. They struggle to make Superman likable in any iterations. And okay, maybe discount the Superman the lowest one. For the past like 2 decades. Like, come on, like this is a very clear case on what Marvel's doing right.
Yeah.
And I feel like when we started off the MCU, they were like, okay, let's try this grounded approach to like these characters. Right. Which sometimes you don't really get like the comic book accurate costumes and whatnot. But I feel like as we progress into the next like phase, I feel like they are approaching like they're becoming more daring. They are being more like brave in terms of like being more comic book accurate. Like obviously now see like how they fixed the Mandarin in Shang-Chi. Could be too soon to say, but it looks better, doesn't it? And I've been like rereading like the old arcs of like the incursions, the time runs out, and then I didn't realize like that Shang-Chi was actually like played quite a big role in the collapse of multiverse as well. And now to see like the character again, I was like, oh yeah, okay, now I can see why they chose like to do Shang-Chi as a movie as well. So I guess like if I were to say Marvel at this point, they're doing quite well. Like at first I was like, I have no interest in this universe after Iron Man's dead, but then now I'm like, hey, there's actually a lot of amazing stories to tell.
Yeah. Okay, I think we have 3 more characters to go, but we'll talk in depth in one character, and then the other 2 we'll go quickly because we're about to run out of time. So the other main character I want to talk about is, of course, John Walker himself, the so-called first choice to be the next Captain America. And of course, he's just a soldier who's been awarded a lot of medals and honor because of his distinct work he's done for the country. That's why he was suitable for it. Until you realize that he's only following orders. He's basically like the Captain America, like in like kind of like in his early days, right? But without like kind of the moral, a little bit of moral code, you can say. Do you agree?
I heard this very interesting saying that people are trying to say that this is reflecting the ideology of the U.S. military from 1930s to the present days.
Okay.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah. But like obviously I don't think we have the cultural like influence to understand that completely. Yeah. But like after reading, I was like, oh, actually, that's quite an interesting point.
Yeah.
But subject for debate.
Yeah, subjects for debate. But yeah, of course, he took up the mantle and he wants to, do well, and wants to get the recognition of Bucky and Sam, like, because you were his sidekick, right? Why can't you be my sidekick as well? And they're like, fuck off. You're not my Captain America. You gotta earn it, And in the end, of course, as you can see, some of his decisions he made, he's like starting to show his true colors. Like, if you're getting in my way, I wouldn't get in my way. Like, stay the hell out of my way, or there'll be like consequences. And of course, they had conflicts, and then his friend. What is his friend's name? Nickname?
Lamar. Oh no,
No.
Battlestar.
Battlestar.
I just love it when Bucky was like, "Hell no, I'm getting off the car."
Yeah, like fuck that. Once you heard the name, like no, I'm out.
Battlestar was not Bucky's name though.
No. But yeah, once his mates die, he started. You can see his it bad in him, like manifest, and at that point, he's already taken the serum because there was one serum that fell on the floor in the fight on the warehouse, and then he became enhanced and killed one of the flag smasher. Came bad, and got, because everyone saw he killed a person, in front of like videos and cameras. He got like discharged from military and stripped off the name of Captain America. Got recruited by this cameo person who is Ham.
Madame Hydra.
Literally, Nick Fury's love interest for a while.
Ooh.
Yeah. So that's the backstory, but I don't know what they're gonna do with this, right? Because we haven't seen Black Widow as well, so we hopefully know more when we see all these films and series moving forward. But
I think she's just there to recruit character. I think we'll see her backstory.
Yeah, I think she's like the new version of Nick Fury, like, but in terms of the darker side, the more anti-hero of like Avengers and stuff like that.
Like how at the end of every film in Phase 1, you see Nick Fury talking to them.
I think this will be her now. Yeah, it will be her going on like in terms of the dark stuff.
I do hope it's an anti-hero kind of team, not a villain team. So
yeah. I think that'll be very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's now, and we see him making his own shield when he lost the shield, like the fight with Bucky and Sam, created his own shield and did shit all, broke in the end.
Oh, he's gonna get a new shield.
Yeah, he will though. Like from her, definitely she will provide.
Like the black one.
Mm-hmm. But and the costume in the end, fantastic. The black.
Yeah.
Very nice.
See, that one is like spot on.
Yeah,
it's like with the white stripe as well.
So yeah, Neil, let's go to you. So what do you think overall of John Walker?
Very interesting character, and I absolutely loved how they they didn't just make him into a bad person at the end. Like at least he's still trying to do good, but at the heat of the battle, as he said, he kind of lost his temper. But I love that you as well as trying to build up this complex character of John Walker is also trying to show the pressure it takes to become Captain America itself.
Yeah.
Because basically the whole premise of the story is to see okay, who's going to be replacing Steve, Then John Walker comes in, and then immediately the show tries to put us against him.
Yeah.
Like how you were saying that everything that he was saying, people were just no, this is not my Cap, And basically Bucky and Sam's reaction to him when they were in that truck was exactly what we felt as well. Yeah. And I just loved how they began the series by creating this character that we would absolutely blindly hate.
Yeah.
Because that's the purpose of doing so. But then as it kept going on, they were trying to show that actually there's a lot more for you to consider before hating anyone that. And I love that now him being the US agent, he doesn't have to be perfect anymore. He just has to do his job, which is what he's kind of been doing all this time. And it's like I said as well, I guess that the reason he could not become Captain America is because he just didn't have the same ideology as Steve did. He was just there to do his job, to just do his job and just to kill people, But Steve was a lot more than that. And John Walker would have never become, a Captain America as good as him.
Yeah.
So yeah, very good story. And then, like I said again, I love that they're setting him up for for some more roles in the future.
Mm-hmm. All right, Ham. Let's go to you, John Walker. What are your opinions?
Yeah, it's great. A lot of reflection in terms of like what it takes to become the next Captain America. It's more like contrast. I think the whole thing is like for you to compare between three different people that could potentially become Captain America and people who did in the past. I think the fact that they do mention how it's the ideology of like, the US military in comparison to like the hero is quite different.
Yeah.
Captain America being a soldier was kind of true, but he was also like the special unit kind of thing, and he did have a very good heart, and he would be willing to like break the law if needed, or to stand for what's right. But John Walker was more of like, I'm just gonna stand like my ground and take orders. Struggle between having powers and don't have powers. Like, come on, that's like a question like in every facet of society, people who has and people who has not. Same thing. Like, is he worthy just because he doesn't have powers? And that's why he took the germ, and in the end, Sam doesn't have powers, but he managed to become like worth to take up the mantle.
Yeah.
But it makes me and the fact that they make him a extremely hateable character at first, and then became a character we kind of like ish in the end, kind of makes me feel like, hey, this is an interesting approach. It's a way to build a character where obviously they're gonna become an anti-hero. And I think that is a kind of like the formula for it. Because like sometimes you might hate the hero at first and then you kind of like him as you go up. I mean, sorry, you start liking the hero at first and you just keep liking him. But in this case, you start hating them first and you like them in the end. And it kind of makes me wonder, I'm a bit more excited for like what the Dark Avengers team would play a role in, because you don't exactly know the shape of the Avengers team right now. Like after Endgame, we haven't really seen what the Avengers are up to, right?
Yep.
So is this the answer? Because like because essentially the Avengers are not around anymore. Does this mean like they wanted a new team? Kind of like in Invincible when the global guardian of the globe Earth was all like killed off, and you need a new team.
Mm-hmm.
And they brought in like a new team. It could be the same thing. Avengers are like not as active as they used to be because I assume Doctor Strange is like doing magical shit. Spider-Man is too busy being in high school.
Yeah, but I mean, remember when in Far From Home they did ask, Spider-Man did ask, where's the other Avengers? And everyone's like busy doing their stuff. So yeah.
And Thor's off planet.
Yeah.
Guardians off planet.
Captain Marvel's
Like
off planet.
planet, yeah.
Not available.
All like Wanda's having a mental breakdown. If you think about it, the Avengers is not having a good time with PR with like two of their prominent leaders. Oh, sorry, three of the characters died.
Yeah.
Captain America, Black Widow, and Iron Man is gone. When Captain America died, we don't know what happened to him, but Hawkeye pretty much killed a bunch of people in a 5-year span. As Ronin, he assassinated like a lot of Yakuza.
Mm-hmm.
Ant-Man probably off on his like science adventure. Yeah, like who's left on the Avengers team? I think it's just Sam and Bucky, and maybe like on War Machine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like all you have left right now. Because the Avengers has always just been like, Captain America and stuff and Cole. Vision's dead. So I can't imagine. And
Oh,
kind
Bruce.
of, no, but he's not part of the team anymore,
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, so no, like, come on, like, we used to have like so many Avengers at the end of Endgame. Like, just before the end of Endgame, now there's like no one.
Yeah.
Like you hear, like, yeah. So maybe this is like, oh, something like, because like the absence of Avengers, they need to form this new team, and that's why teams like Dark Avenger, Young Avengers, or Thunderbolts are coming up, because like the Avengers are not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
All right. Okay. So another one I want to go through quickly, but even though it's a big topic of this series as well, I want to talk about Isaiah Bradley and his
Yeah.
arc. I think him in the series is the most well done arc and the most like satisfying conclusion to a character, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Like,
generated a lot of conversations.
yeah, like a lot. You
Sure.
can literally dig down deeper in this person alone, just like his
Yeah.
backstory, and talk about a lot more on just the cultural and just history behind like American culture as well.
Yeah.
And
Oh
it's just,
yeah, there was like, there's a Black Captain America in the 50s and no one knew about him.
yeah, like why?
Yeah.
But literally, yeah, they blame everything on him because he went back to try and save his friends. He got experimented on, and he just got discharged and put in jail. Just being blamed for everything, and his history wiped. His service for the country just taken away because of that.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, it's sad to see. And you can see from the series himself, he was struggling. He was like literally like hurt, like being betrayed by his own country because of what he did. Like he wanted to do the right thing, but then apparently it all fell down on him.
Yeah.
But to
I
see,
kind of like the fact that Captain America exhibition is always there,
yeah,
like
yeah,
ever
it's
since
just there.
Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
part of the culture now.
Yeah.
But no, but in the end, to see see Sam take up the mantle and doing what's right and seeing that so a black Captain America, huh? It's like, Sam's like, damn right. Yeah, it's good to see. It's such a good thing to see. And that, of course, that ending was it quite emotional when in the exhibition of Captain America, you also now have a section that dedicated to Isaiah Bradley
Yeah.
as well and what he did for the country.
Yeah.
So yeah, so what do you guys think? So quickly, Neil, what do you think?
It was very touching, and I'm really glad that they added that, because that's a way of trying to say that Sam can't just become Captain America without understanding the gravity that that role has. Not
Yeah.
because of being Captain America itself, but just how he had to represent,
Yeah.
everything that he was. And they did that really well, and I really liked it. And like I think like the scene that I loved the most was I think it was probably episode 2, when they went to see him, and they were walking through the neighborhood. So the first one was that the kid came up to him and said, "Hey, you're Black Falcon."
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and secondly, when Sam was talking to Bucky, and then the police came up and was like trying to arrest him. That's why, because
bothering you.
Oh yeah.
and then they eventually backtrack because they're like, "Holy shit, no, it's the Falcon," and like his tone completely changed, and it was just kind of like, I think that obviously like what Marvel's trying to do is like they're trying to be a bit political and trying to paint that picture of what real life is, like that, like the whole Black Lives Matter movement,
like
felt.
racial profiling as well.
Yeah, racial profiling. That's the right word. Yeah, and like because I love that Marvel did that and went to that lens, because as some people would say, why would you bring politics to my show? But then people would also say that Marvel has always been political.
Yeah,
Captain America
yeah,
is political,
yeah.
and so I love that addition so much, and it really brought a lot of brought a flavor to what we got to see. So it was good.
All right, Ham, let's go to you. What do you think?
I don't have really much to say, because I think I mentioned it again and again and again.
Yeah.
But it's a story that I do want to hear more about. But if you try to tell a story, it's pretty much the same as, but an unsuccessful version at that. Yeah. But we'll see what that plays a role in bringing his grandson.
Yeah.
to become like the Patriot.
All right. Okay, then let's just talk about the last person now in the series, and then we'll end the podcast there because we are out of time. Man, out of time.
Captain America, Man of Time. Is that a Chris Evans project?
That could be a good time. All right, so of course we talk about other main villain. Oh well, yeah, villain slash whatever you want to call her, the leader of the Flag Smasher.
Oh, you're leaving out Sharon?
Oh yeah, my God, Sharon. All right, yeah, let's talk about Sharon. Actually, let's talk about Sharon.
Okay, you know what? Let me mention the Flag Smasher briefly, and we don't have to come back to it ever again.
Yeah. Okay, let's do that.
I feel like it's very naive, and I feel like it's a rehash of like the whole extremist movement all over again.
Yeah,
I feel like if they did it with like the Serama extremists, it would have the same effect. But I felt like her motivations are pure. Yes, she thinks she's a good person, but to me, she just feels like a kid lashing out.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all.
All right, I think you already described what I wanted to say for the Flag Smasher as well, and I think it's a bit. And you already said it as well in the beginning that they're a bit underdeveloped. Yeah, I think they could have done more with Flag Smasher, but Oh yeah, One World. One World.
I forgot what they said.
One People.
I always
People.
Oh my God. That it's just my feeling for the Flag Smashers is that I don't really care. Like it's over. like it's so like if whether they're significantly they're good villains or not, it doesn't really matter because it's kind of like the story's been established, the arc's been completed. Like the Flag Smasher was just there as an obstacle. I think different stories would have been more affected if the villains weren't that fleshed out. But because we had Zemo, we had Charon, and we have John Walker, I think it made the Flag Smashers kind of like just something that everyone was commonly fighting. But while at the same time, you had those dynamics between the main cast that was a lot more interesting to invest in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's my.
Okay, let's move on to
Yeah.
Sharon Carter. Thank you for that. I literally, and it's the most important part as well because her character did change a lot.
They made her a lot more interesting because I could not care for Sharon at all.
Really?
Before.
Oh,
like
before. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the show made her like they gave her something.
But all right, here's the thing. I do not agree with what they're going with Sharon, but I don't know. I could be wrong. It's too early to judge at the moment.
There's a lot of backlash.
Yeah, there's a lot of backlash because it's Sharon Carter. She's being connected to this like name of just the Carter, the Peggy Carter and stuff. The Carter name, like how the good stuff, and Agent 13. She's like a good person, but now they made her the power broker and the main villain. Like she's literally like a bad person now, and her reason was because she helped try to do good, give the shield back to Cap and the wings to Falcon to save Bucky, so that Bucky can save Caps as well, and they all forgot about her.
Yeah.
So now she's like a kid, like has this like anger issue and like I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna go off grid, be a bad person now. But in that span of time, I told Ham this: is she able to become the power broker of the most notorious black market or like city in the world? Like it doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't.
Right?
And that's why I've been reserving my judgment because I hope I know that Marvel will always have a proper explanation for this. Like maybe she befriended someone who's very influential and then they pass it on to her.
Yeah.
Because I don't think it's like you said, like it's so weird to see her have that much power.
Yeah.
Because the last time we see her, she's just like by herself, just like training to become an agent. and so yeah, like I honestly, like, I'm just more curious to see where they'll take her, because obviously, like, they're trying to be as mysterious about where, like, what she's been doing, because
Yeah.
like the only thing she's seen her is when she's with Bucky and Sam,
Yeah.
and obviously with Carly as well. But
Oh,
yeah,
And in addition, right? And let's hypothetically, if she was blipped, she didn't have that 5 years as well to run the empire.
yeah.
What year did it take place in?
What?
2024 or 2023?
I think this is
They
like
said it was like,
six, like a couple of months after Endgame.
yeah. So it's
Or
before Far
2023?
From
Yeah.
it's before Far From Home.
Yeah, before Far From Home. Yeah, before Far From
Yeah.
Home.
Because Far From Home is 2024.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So 2023, I
Yeah,
guess.
I think
Yeah.
2023.
Yeah. And they haven't confirmed where she got blipped, even though when the last scene of Infinity War, so of Captain Marvel, when Steve and Nat
Oh, they were
and
looking
I
at
think
those lists of names,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
She wasn't
and
on it.
Sharon's name actually came up as well. I remember
Oh, did
that.
she?
Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah, where the fuck did she go?
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay, so
remember
she did
like her
get
name
blipped
came
then.
up.
Yeah, so how the fuck did she?
No, but then like maybe it's because they can't contact her.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
they
that's true.
put
Like
Scott
like
back
Ant-Man,
in there,
like
so-
Ant-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, yeah, makes
Yeah.
sense. Yeah.
So I think like it's just very mysterious. Like obviously it's just kind of weird to see her rising up
Mm.
like so high up in power
Yeah.
towards a short period of time. But we'll see what she does
But
next.
we found out that she was a power broker at the end. Being this bad person, she's like and pretty much the post-credit scenes is her being welcomed back to the government to work in Shield. Like kind of like the defense agency. And then he's like, "Oh, line up the buyers. We got a lot of access to now all the prototype stuff." And it ends.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to ask for this. So please kind of like correct me if I'm wrong. Like who was she fighting when they were trying to go find the serum in Madripoor?
Which
You know the scene when they were in the shipment
Yeah.
yard thing, and she was fighting all the goons,
Yeah.
outside when they were like, who were they fighting? I thought she was like fighting people from our power broker.
Yeah, I think that they don't know who the power broker is. Remember, so they're just being hired. So I think she just hired them. That's why she knew they were coming.
She hired them so she could kill them.
Yeah. I think it's just
Okay.
to cover her tracks as well.
Okay, fair enough.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Fine. I'll try not to think too much, but okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's all for Sharon Carter. Do you have any last thing you want to put on Sharon Carter? Sharon Carter.
No, but I do. With Marvel, I'm trying to be a bit more. Actually, with anything, I'm trying to be a bit more open-minded.
Hmm.
Being the comics,
Yeah.
you tend to get too fixated on things,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes that ruins the experience because you have an idea of how things should be.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be like, okay, this could be like justify a route for churn, but maybe not. But we'll see.
My working theory. I think I told you this, right? I think she's a scroll.
She's a what?
She's a scroll. This person, this Sharon Carter, is a scroll.
Oh, to set up Secret Invasion.
Yeah.
I see.
I do have a problem with Secret Invasion a little bit. Like I feel like doing a Secret Invasion is like a 360. Sorry, a 180.
Mm-hmm.
Like you come up with a twist with them being the good team and the Kree being bad. But with the comics the other way around, the Kree is good, Skrull is bad. And it's kind of like, you suddenly backpedal and then you'd be like, oh no, they were evil all along. So I feel like there has to be more
It could
to
be
Secret Invasion.
just like the Mandalorians, like a group of scrolls. So there's like different part of them, different type of groups of scrolls. Like one of like very extremist.
Could be, and
Yeah.
like super Skrulls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
All right.
but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. So in the end, Falcon and the Winter Soldier ratings. What would you give it, New? Boy.
Oh, sorry. My microphone stopped working just now. I don't know why. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay.
Final verdict. Falcon and Winter Soldier. What would you give it out of 10?
An 8. 8 out of 10.
Ham. What would you give Falcon and Winter Soldier out of 10?
7.
Oh. I would give the Falcon and Winter Soldier an 8.
I thought you were going to say 7.5 for some reason.
No. I debated you there.
Like it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Like,
but it's just
yeah.
the weak villain, the flag smasher. That's all that bothers me a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's all we had for our podcast. Okay. Thank you very much for listening to this week's podcast, episode 30. Finally 30 episodes. And yeah, this is a long one. We talked about Pokemon Oh Snap and
Oh snap.
and Resident Evil 8, a little bit of what we've been playing so far, and of course the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But now, as you see in the title of the end screen of the series, it's not Falcon and the Winter Soldier anymore. It's Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah, he's now Captain America. Okay, so for now, me and my co-host Mew and Ham have to bid you an American farewell. And we'll see you
Bye.
on the next
Oh.
episode. And we'll see you in the next episode of our podcast of Council of Ways. Bye.
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 Du-du.